Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the second part of the Darkling Thrush. In the first part of the poem, we had seen that the poet had established the winter landmass as a wasteland, as a barren, arid, snowy wasteland, and it was covered with frost and there was no hope in the surrounding landmass. So now we see there is a sharp contrast between the previous two stanzas, and now in the third stanza, with the introduction of the thrush, we see the tone of the poem completely changes. So we directly start with the text. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead. So suddenly, when the poet at the end of the second stanza was fervorless, without any passion, completely hopeless, and in a state of despair, he suddenly hears a sharp voice. And among the voice arose among the bleak twigs, among the barren twigs, there was a noise, a voice that could be heard in a full-hearted evensong of joy illimited. And the voice was like what? The voice was in a full-hearted evensong. It was full-hearted means joyful, ecstatic. Evensong is like an evening service. It was almost like an evening service. It was divine. The voice had a divine quality. And it expressed joy illimited. Illimited is unlimited, free from any limitation or restrainment. The voice rose above the desolate surface. So we can see the stark contrast with the introduction of the thrush. An aged thrush. Thrush is a bird, a small bird. An aged thrush. It was not a young bird, it was aged, frail, gaunt and small. And it was frail, it was extremely weak, delicate, it was gaunt, it was thin, and it was small, in blast beruffled plume, and it was struggling with the winter, the harsh northern winds. In blast is the very strong north wind that was there. Beruffled means it disordered its feathers. The wind was so strong, and the bird, the small thin bird, was fighting with the north wind. And the very strong winds beruffled, disordered its plume, its feathers. Had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. And it seems as if the bird has forcefully hurled itself, fling its soul, has given its soul upon the growing gloom in order to stop the growing gloom, in order to, amidst this growing gloominess, amidst this darkness, amidst this fading light, as if the thrush has given its soul and had started to sing a song of joy. And the bird is, ironically, the bird is weak. It might not survive the harsh winter, yet it sings of joy and happiness. So little cause for carolings. And the moment the poet heard this, the poet says that so little cause for carolings, there is no reason. The poet finds no reason, little cause. Cause here is little reason for carolings. Carolings is singing. It is also a reference to Christmas carols of such ecstatic sound. And the poet is confused, and the poet is trying to discover what is the reason behind the thrush's such joyful song. He cannot find any reason for this song of such ecstatic sound. Ecstatic is such joyful sound. He's trying to find an inspiration, find a reason. What is the inspiration? What is the reason of this joyful tune? Was written on terrestrial things, afar or nigh around. So he says that there was no reason for such a song. There was nothing written on terrestrial things. Terrestrial is the landmass, the landscape. So there was nothing on the landscape looking at which the bird can sing such a joyful tone. So he tries to find out, the poet tries to look for things. And he says, afar or nigh around. Neither nearby or neither in the distance or nearby there was anything that might inspire such joyful tune. So the poet cannot understand the reason behind the thrush's such joyful, such ecstatic, happy tune. That I could think there trembled through his happy good night air. So he says, there was nothing near or around that I could think, I here is the poet, that the poet could think, could tremble through his happy good night air. So trembled through. So there was nothing that was there that can be compared, that can give rise to such a happy good night air is such a happy night tune. There was nothing around. Then the poet comes to a conclusion. Initially he was confused. He was trying to find a reason, trying to find the source of inspiration of the bird, trying to find why the thrush is singing such a happy tune. He could not locate anything on the terrestrial plane, on the landmass, that could give rise to such a happy tune that could inspire the bird to sing such a happy tune. So now in the last two lines he comes to a conclusion. He says, some blessed hope whereof he knew, and I was unaware. So the poet comes to the conclusion that perhaps the bird, being closer to nature, is aware of some kind of blessed hope. Blessed hope, again, it is very important. It has a Christian connotation. It is one of the three great Christian virtues: hope, faith, and charity. These are the three main virtues of Christianity. And the poet alludes to one of them and says perhaps the bird is aware of some kind of blessed hope, whereof he knew, and I was unaware. Whereof he here is the thrush. The thrush knew about this blessed hope. The thrush was aware about this blessed hope. But the poet is unaware of it. The poet, being so confused, being so wrapped up in his own anxieties and the anxieties of the times, that he cannot find anything. He cannot find any joy, any reason for hope. But the bird, being a part of nature, perhaps can see better than the poet and perhaps can sense some blessed hope which the poet is unable to discover. So we come to the end of the poem, and I hope you all have understood the difference in the tone, the change in the tone once the thrush comes in. And if you have any problem, anything that you would want me to repeat, any portion that you do not understand or you would like to have a discussion on, you can write it in the comment section. You can also post other chapters that you would want me to explain. And you can also post your suggestions regarding my channel, how I can improve it, what are the new things that you would like to see, what are the new elements you would want me to introduce. So if you can give me such insights, that would be extremely helpful for me, and I intend to learn as much from you as you would learn from me. So let us get together and try to solve each other's struggles and try to form a community where we both have space to communicate. Thank you for your patience. We will come back again in the next video with important themes, important questions that we may encounter in our ISC examination. So please, until then, send in your love, and if you like my work and my video, please subscribe and please drop in any query if you may have in the comment section. Thank you. See you again in the next video.